Hi, everyone. I am grateful to welcome you again to my The Bear Leader podcast. And today I'm so happy to have my wonderful, beautiful guest, Iris G Santos. And I want to introduce her. So she is a mental health therapist and coach, and her main focus is to help restore emotional distress into inner peace. Welcome, Iris. So glad that you had this chance and to come to my podcast. And I would love to talk with you about emotional intelligence, your main topic, a lot. And I have many, many questions that I am sure would help our guests, our leaders to understand more and develop their emotional intelligence in implement in their life your tips, your recommendations, and awareness about why it is important and how they can help yourself to improve this as well. So, welcome.
Thank you so much, Lena. This is a topic that is a passion of mine because having emotional intelligence is clarity, is the pathway to what you want in your life and how to achieve it, and how to relate to others and connect with the world around you, and even especially the people that you love most at work, at home, and everywhere else. So thank you. This is a really good topic to explore and talk on.
Wonderful. Please tell us a little bit more about yourself. What do you do, and um, how do you help people in this topic, and anything that you want to share with us?
So again, my name is Iris G Santos. I am originally from one of the Hispanic Caribbean island. I came to this country over 30 years ago. And my passion has always been the human's mind, how we relate to each other, how our emotions control our behavior and the way we perceive what we hear and what we share. So in my practice, I focus more in restoring the emotional turmoil that in some form of another we are all being impacted by the world that surrounds us, because the culture, the world, the beliefs are have created this stigma that it's okay to suffer, that it's okay to um, not love yourself, that it's okay to dismiss your feelings and your thoughts and your emotions, because if it doesn't go along with the culture or with what the belief is, then it's not important. So throughout my own experiences, personally and professionally, everything goes back, in my experience, everything goes back to how we interact with our own emotion system. So my focus is to restore order in the inner self, in the subconscious mind, in healing emotional trauma, so we can live in peace individually as a society.
Mm-hmm. You help you helped a lot of people just to go through this to improve your emotional intelligence. But what would be your recommendations where people can start like developing emotional intelligence for themselves? Like um what would you recommend them?
The first thing is to notice, to become aware of it. Because if you don't become aware that something needs change or that something is no longer working, it is a very difficult thing to make a decision, and it requires a decision. So you don't have to know exactly what is that is impeding your decision on leading you to the same patterns and repetition that leads you to suffering or that leads you to difficult communication with people around you or difficult relationship or toxic relationship. But even though you don't know, if even if you don't know what is, just the outcome. So the first thing is to become aware. If your relationship are difficult, you don't know why. Poor communication, you don't know why. That is your indication. So the first thing is the to realize that something needs to change. And it's not about blaming, it's not about, it's just realize that something is no longer working and then make the decision to go deeper and find help. That's the reason why we stay stuck, because we don't know how to navigate that what we don't know what.
I totally agree with you. And awareness about what is happening with you, how your emotions and feelings impact yourself, your decisions, your relationship. And I see this working with executives and leaders from top world companies. I see this a lot when successful leaders, they make some decisions and they usually think that they make their decision only by logical part, only like by data, but analytical part. But when we dive deeply, one, they made these decisions against other decision or something how it affected their relationship or their success, their promotion. And it is always the emotional part behind that. And usually it is not obvious for people who are not aware about their emotional intelligence, who can't observe what is happening with them. So, how it is impactful for them. So, what triggers how they react, how they can manage your emotions, how they can feel differently if you don't like how you're feeling this way. So, what can you do about that, right?
Mm.
And for leaders, it is not effectful only about themselves. It is also related how they communicate with others, how they understand other people, their employees, where, for example, they set expectations to people and people can have some feelings, emotions about their task, expectations, and like even to see this, like open eyes. And if you are really aware about emotional intelligence, how it works, how it is impactful, you can easily read other people's emotions. You can easily understand other people's feelings. And when you understand this, it would be more easier to deal with this rather than just being blind and don't see anything and just operate to some data, logics, analytics. What do you say about this?
Was beautiful. Um, you just reminded me of my grandmother. My grandmother always said, just because someone has a title doesn't make them um, equipped or capable of carrying on with that title. So a leader's job, the primary job of a leader is to get to know their employees and to connect at a level more than just the business part, but the emotional part. So you can know each piece that plays a part in that business or that community within your leadership. And so when you make the decision are not just based on the analytical part, but also taking in place how you're going to impact each member of that community that you are the one leading. So the first job of a leader is to not only to get themselves. I'm going to take that back. Is to get themselves get to know them more than just the business and the degree, because it takes more than a degree, and to get to know your employees so we can have community, learning to communicate, voice what is the vision of that company, not just have the idea and tell people what to do and how to do it, but you don't communicate the outcome of the vision. Respecting, having empathy, getting to know each part of that, those that work there, how it works, how this person worked on this part, or what is the motive that leads this person to choose the way to do this or do that. So we can have community and have um, uh, that sense of we are working together and not against each other. This is a family, even though we are not, but this is a family working together.
So I want to talk with you about the myth that I really believed a half of my life in this myth that I was born with some like particular reactions, with some particular emotions. And I thought that I'm very emotional person. So, and I can't react differently. I can't manage my emotions because I was born like this. And this is like a constanta. I can't do anything about this. But when I started to learn more about this topic, learn more myself, I started to work on that. And it was like eyes opening that it is possible to change. It is possible to manage how you react, how to be emotional mature about how to manage your emotions, how to react differently, how to understand your emotions, why you're feeling in this way, and what can you do about that. So I want to hear about that from you. You worked a lot with that, and I am sure that your clients also sometimes believe that this is what who we are right now, and we can't do anything about that.
That's so beautiful. I wanted to first thank you. Thank you because I can see that you have a deep connection with yourself by when I hear you speaking this way. So your emotions are your superpower. Our emotions are our superpower. And when those you said you were as some people, or you were born with some form of emotion that it was like something negative. There's no such thing as negative emotion or positive emotions. Emotions are always guiding us either toward the things that we want in life or away from it. But without emotion, we wouldn't be here. So I don't like the word manage, because when we manage, it's a form of controlling or form of manipulating it. I love the word transforming it, in love with those emotions and understanding that each emotions that we feel is a guidance, is showing us something. Now that doesn't mean we react to every emotion. If it's an emotion that keeps repeating, it means that we have somehow dismissed it or failed to understand the message and make a different decision. Because when we repeat the same cycle of emotions, it's because we haven't understand the message, or make the different decision that we need to make. So when we talk about I was born this way,
Mm-hmm.
we all we all come into a world, and I mentioned this at the beginning, we all come into the world that designed the way we're supposed to behave, the way that we're supposed to feel, the way we're supposed to react. to the world around us. So even when we are children, by the time we, scientifically speaking, has been proven by the time you are 6 months in the womb, you're already absorbing your mother's emotional body. You already been conditioned by the environment that you come into, right? The whole world, culture, religion, everything is already telling you who you're going to be. So if you have emotional intelligence to feel, because when you react to feeling, maybe you don't know what is at that moment when you are a newborn baby or 1 or 2 or 3, but you're feeling something and you react to the feeling, whether it's through being very sensitive, which is such a beautiful, beautiful knowing that you have this sensitivity to yourself. That means you connected to yourself more than anything else. Even when you are that young, that emotions are still guiding you. It's leading you to something. The issue is that the humans around us, the adults around us, may not understand what that means, and the guidance might not be the one that you need at that moment. So then it becomes the suffering. It becomes the thing that we don't know how to change. And when the emotion becomes suffering, it's just there because the initial message was ignored somehow. So it becomes bigger. So to continue getting your attention. But it's not because your emotions are here to hurt you. Without it, we wouldn't be here.
I totally agree. And what comes to my mind right now, like our emotions are the signals for us. They're telling us, they're messaging us about something like negative emotions, like something wrong happening. Please pay attention to this. Do something about this. Not stuck in this emotion, but find the way, like what you're gonna do about that.
Exactly.
And um how I work with that for myself, if, for example, I feel some negative emotions, and when I name it, it is already like has less impact on me, and I feel less being angry or upset or sad or something that I feel. But when I name it, I already like acknowledge this emotion and understand this. And after that, I'm thinking, okay, what is these emotions can tell me right now? About what is triggering me, or maybe what thoughts I have right now that causing these emotions or feelings. What would you recommend to our guests? Just how can we learn our emotions? What can we do about that if, for example, we feel and it looks like we can't handle these emotions?
That is so beautiful. So I have, first of all, that's beautiful. Um, Recognizing the emotion is the first step, not ignoring it. Because the moment we ignore the emotions, again, it becomes our suffering. And that's the part that we find ourselves that we feel trapped. We feel like we cannot move forward. We feel like repeating the same cycle. And that goes also in leadership. That goes also with your employees. It's everyday life. Whether you are in leadership, whether you are at home, it doesn't matter. So
Mm-hmm.
first thing is to recognize it, as you said, that that recognition sends a message to that part of us, whether the body, to the thoughts that created emotion, because every emotion is connected to a thought, right? You let that part of you know I am aware of it. I recognize and I'm taking responsibility to how I feel when you say, okay, what is this that this emotion is showing me? I'm taking responsibility with it. So, another word, take a deep breath. I know that is a common theme. Take a deep breath. But truly, taking a conscious Slow the breath, send a message to the mind, and it triggers the pattern of more thoughts of the same kind. Because once the mind has that little opening and it's very constant sometimes, it just brings more and more. And this is why you find yourself not able to get up in days, or it takes you weeks, or it takes you, depending how where you are in your relationship with yourself. What is another thing that I do? I journal a lot. Like when I was going through the dark night of what world, I would journal, dear sadness, I can feel you. Thank you for whatever it is that you're showing me. Always thinking my emotion because it's showing me something. I will challenge it. Like for instance, if you are in your bed, if you are walking and a dog start chasing you, a strange dog start chasing you, that emotion is good. Is letting you know, find shelter, or get ready to fight with this dog, or ask for help. That emotion is good and is necessary. But if you're home and you start feeling this rush of emotion and panic attack and anxiety or this deep sadness, that emotion is telling you that your mind doesn't perceive right now your current world safe for whatever it is. That usually comes from the emotional body that was created when we are children. That needs to, because it will continue impacting us. Another thing, exercising. And the best one, treating your body with kindness, water, uh, vegetable, or eating healthy. That's also part of a relationship with your emotions. Mirror work. That is one of the one that I love the most. I looked at my emotion. I look at myself in the mirror and I say hi. And I sad. I allow myself to cry until I don't have no more tears. I hug me. I ask me to forgive myself. I'm sorry for hurting you. I'm sorry for abandoning you. I'm sorry for the decision that now is leading me to feel this way. So it's a lot of techniques that we can use. Pick one. Pick one and be consistent, because consistency is what's going to do the transformation. And again, don't seek manage just managing, but transforming the emotion, transforming it from inner turmoil to inner peace. And you have that power always.
Thank you so much for these amazing recommendations and tools that people can use and help themselves. What other comes to my mind is if we are talking about negative emotions, what I observe working with clients that some people don't allow themselves or blame themselves about like feeling some negative emotions. They try to avoid this, hide this, and they think it is something bad. So, like being angry, something bad. I'm not allowing, I'm blocking these emotions, but it is not going anywhere. It is blocking inside and it is affecting a lot like relationship, what's happening, your decisions, your life. And like just accept that every emotions is okay, is good. You're you deserve to feel any emotions, not only good emotions.
Even if it doesn't feel good.
Yeah, yeah. And like to think that it is okay sometimes change some people minds about what they're feeling so that everything is okay with them, that they can be angry, upset, or disappointed, or hopefulness, or anything. Any emotions is given us for a reason, right? And just like to accept this, like you can feel any emotions and it is okay. How do you usually work with that when you see this?
The vast majority of us, the vast majority of us don't realize the impacts of the emotions in our lives and the lives of others. Yes, you can see the anger or the holding of the anger. We don't realize the how deep are we how deeper we putting ourselves in. But the vast majority of us learned to dissociate from our emotions when we were children because of the system. It's a sense system. Because when we were children, why are you crying? Uh, there's no reason to be sad. Mhm. No, you don't feel that way. You feel this way. So we attach those emotions that we don't like as something hurtful, something negative. So now that I'm grown up, I cannot feel that way because now I can control it, and there's nothing in me. So how do we deal with that? First, with education. 99% of us, the reason why we don't make a different decision is because we don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, it has been my case until I understood why my mind was working that way, why I will numb myself from feeling the things that I didn't want to feel and become responsible for my own emotional body until I understood what was going on with my mind, why my mind works like this. I didn't make the right decision. I continue repeating the same cycle. That's why it's important to seek help. Uh, you see, especially in leadership, those successful, the most successful leaders in this world, they have people around them coaching them, therapists. I'm guiding them because it's not easy. At at time, it's not easy. We all need help. At time, it's not easy. We all need help. We all need, not because there's something wrong with you, because there's nothing wrong with you. In the contrary, when you feel your emotions, it means that you are working exactly the way we are supposed to work. But if we have someone with the knowledge around you, that person can help you understand that emotion. That's why it's so important a person like you in that are helping leaders in the community and to achieve what they need. But first, learn to understand your emotional body because that is the key to whatever we all want.
Yeah, I see this a lot. And sometimes when I ask a simple question, how are you feeling about this? They can tell what they're gonna do. They can tell what is this about, but they are not talking about feelings. And
Right.
I
See how you're feeling. Now what? No, you're feeling. Connect with your body.
and yeah, I see this like people they can't understand how they are feeling. They can't understand their emotions at the moment. And like why it is important to learn about that to understand yourself better. So and understand others. And how would you like would you recommend just people from where to start learning about this? Maybe some books, some podcasts, something that you would recommend people just to educate themselves first about emotional intelligence, to get more awareness about that.
First of all, it's not what you just said. The last word you said. Become aware that something needs to change. Again, you don't need to know what is. I didn't know that I needed to change something. I thought I was happy. That is the thing that you think you are happy. So, first is the awareness something needs to change. Because even if you recommend a book, or you recommend a technique, you recommend whatever it is, if the person thinks there's nothing wrong, even though the world is upside down in your world, they won't do nothing, even if the book is next to them. But however, it's a book by Don Miguel is the Four Agreements. That book is amazing. It breaks down why the mind functions the way it functions and why and how to break out of it. So you can have an inner peace, that you can live life. The world will continue and we're always gonna have something that's gonna trigger us. But when we have emotional intelligence, we can see that and see it for what it is and not stay stuck there and make decisions that are in alignment with your vision, with your goal, regardless of the stress. So, but in order to do that, we have to do something about the things that are holding us back. So, that book, The Four Agreement,
Mhm.
meditating. However, there's a trick to all techniques, and it's not to have any expectation. A lot of time we go into doing reading the book or the technique. However, a book is a teacher. So whenever you read a book, write what resonate with you and then put it to practice. Because if you don't put it to practice, just information in your mind. And it's like just there waiting to be assessed. And because love is an action, not a feeling. Of the feeling guides you, but love is past the feeling. If you're going to do any technique, whether it's meditation or mirror work or journaling, don't do it. Or even the book, don't do it because you want an outcome. Do it because you want to heal your relationship with yourself. You want to be able to communicate with you first in a healthy manner, that you can listen to you. You can get in touch with your emotions, and you can also listen to other people and also communicate how you feel without running from your feelings. I was the one that would not allow you to see me crying. Today, if I want to cry right now, I cry. That's okay. That's my cry. I hug me. Say thank you. I appreciate every parts of me. So the first thing is that awareness, and make the decision that your life matter and the life of the people that you love and your company and being a leader, and then move forward seeking the help that is there waiting on you. Because we all
Thank you so much, Iris, for these wonderful recommendations. And I'm so grateful to have you today in my podcast and for sharing your wisdom and all of these recommendations and tips. Thank you so much. I also note something for myself that I am going to use. And I agree that if we know something and we don't use it, it is equal we don't know. And everything that we know, we need to practice, we need to use in our life.
and share it.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much. I hope that we meet again and we will have a lot of more topics to talk about. Thank you and have a wonderful
I look forward to it.